as a 23-year-old, am a proud owner of a Koenigsegg Regera.
The car right now is gonna be fucking crazy. I'm notorious for not pulling this shit correctly. You ready?
I think I found what might be the biggest influencer scam of 2026, and we're only just a few weeks in. Suddenly, every influencer online is a coach. Fitness influencers, lifestyle influencers, traders, digital marketers, they're all promising the same thing: freedom, money, and that influencer lifestyle. It looks legit, it sounds legit, and the fancy cars and the fancy watches make it feel real. But when you zoom out, you start to notice a pattern. The real product isn't the skill, it's the system, a funnel built on hype, commissions, and convincing the next person to buy in. Today, I'm breaking down the influencer scam that's taking over, how it works, why you should be careful, and who's actually making the money. And by the way, I'll be reading some of your comments in today's video, so if you want to be featured in the next one, definitely make sure to leave one down below.
I just bought a brand new car. As you guys know, I just sold my 40 Pista. Now, I just bought another car. Never in my entire life did I think that I would be owning one of these. I would like to officially announce that me, as a 23-year-old, am a proud owner of a Koenigsegg Regera.
Yeah!
Alright guys, all of my cars are getting fixed today. We had the tire guy come and fix the Porsche already.
GT3 RS.
Now this one needs to go to the shop to get the window fixed.
Aventador.
Tow truck is already here. So let's start this bitch up. Cold start. No key identified. Yep. Again.
Jeez. It's crazy. It's crazy to see. It's almost impossible to not feel a certain way when you see videos like that. I'm jealous. I am so jealous watching that video. Such a FOMO. Imagine 23 years old with a Koenigsegg Regera, like a $3 million car. And that was after he had a 488 Pista, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't even know how much it is. $1 million? 1.2, 1.5? It's insane. And then you have the other kid who's like 19 years old with like a $2 million car collection. How can you not feel jealous? They've cracked the code of getting you to watch, getting you to envy their lifestyle. It's all extremely intentional. The lifestyle is the advertisement. The videos are the product. These influencers aren't flexing because they just want to show off. They're flexing because the flex is what converts. It creates urgency. It creates FOMO, fear of missing out. And most importantly, it creates a sense of belief. You're not buying the course they're pushing because of the curriculum or the education. You're buying it because you want that lifestyle that they're promoting. And here's the key detail that people miss. If the flex stops, the money stops. And that's why these influencers can't just slow down. They can't downsize and they can't disappear. And as social media gets more and more saturated as the years go on, the flex has to get louder. What used to be impressive 5 years ago is invisible today. Remember Tai Lopez and his Lamborghini videos? That would not work today.
There's a car dealership in Florida called Cario Motor Cars, and they have all these expensive vehicles. As you can see, they sell this Bugatti Chiron Sport for $3.6 million, or this Ferrari SF90 for $3.3, or this Lamborghini Aventador for $1 million. And those cars just stand around and lose value every single day. So instead of selling them, Cario has a pretty interesting concept. They just charge the gurus a small down payment and then a high lease payment until the gurus don't want to or can't afford to lease the car anymore. Then the gurus just give the car back, and Cario can do it either with the next guru or they just sell the vehicle at a cheaper rate. Now this Lamborghini that I showed you is owned by Jordan Welsh. He's actually a pretty cool guy. Now I don't know the exact reason, and he seems like a pretty legit guy. I've seen a lot of his content, but he also just posted a video where he explains that he got bored of his new Lamborghini after just 2 months. When he bought the car, he said he bought it at 3,000 miles, and as we can see, it's now 3,500 miles. 100 miles.
In 2 months, he's bored of the car and returns it. It's crazy because years ago, it used to be like rentals. I used to work at an exotic car rental company, and I can't begin to tell you the amount of wannabe influencers that would rent exotic cars from us, as well as even rappers or even wannabe rappers. And they're in New York City and they need a couple cars for a shoot. It makes sense, but a lot of times they were flexing these as if they own them. And that used to be what it was 10 years ago, 2015, 2016, even maybe earlier than that. But you have to keep pushing the envelope. You have to keep doing things bigger and bigger and bigger to stay relevant. 10 years ago, a $100,000 car turned heads. Then it became $200,000, and now it's $500,000. And suddenly everybody is driving a $3 million car, not because it makes sense, but because attention inflation is real. When every single person on social media is flexing, nobody stands out. So the only way to compete in this marketplace is to spend more money and escalate harder and harder and harder. And this leads people to assume something dangerous. That money must be real. But in many cases, it's not owned the way you think. Now, here's the part that shocks people the most. Most of these influencers are not buying these cars outright. They're leasing them, often through open-ended luxury lease agreements. Now, that's not to say some are buying their cars or some are financing them, but most of the time, what usually happens is an open-ended lease, and the influencer usually pays a down payment, and then they pay a high monthly fee to actually have the car, with a title and a registration and a plate, but a car that's like $3 million that they say they purchased or that they bought might only really cost them $30 to $40K a month. Now, that's still expensive, obviously, but it's not generational wealth. And what you got to realize is at any moment, that influencer can return it, say they sold the car, or quietly stop showing it in their content. From the outside, it looks like massive success. From the inside, what's really going on is cash flow pressure that every single influencer or wannabe influencer is going to feel. And this essentially can cause lots of them to go into tremendous amounts of debt, but that's a conversation for another story that we've also covered here on the channel. Now, who is the real winner in this whole thing? Well, that's the dealer. They get paid whether the influencer succeeds or fails. It's the modern version of the gold rush. Sell the shovels and the buckets, not actually try to achieve the dream. So whether the miner strikes gold or not, it doesn't really matter. I get paid anyway.
TJR made all of his money from trading, Tate from models, rest from freelance brand scaling. At least that's what they want you to think. But what actually made them their millions was using this cheat code. Number one, they learn a high value skill. Number two, they build an audience around that skill. Number three, they sold information on how other people can get into those things. The real money isn't about the skill itself.
Exactly.
It's selling the information about that skill. It's simple and easy. All you need is a simple skill which you already have. Make an offer so good people feel stupid saying no. Post content and get people to trust you. Sell on that trust and scale.
It's obviously much easier said than done, and I do give them a lot of credit because you have to be really smart to figure out how to do this. You can't just be an anybody and do it. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people try to do this every day, and there's not too many that actually are successful with it. There's just some moral or ethical issue that I have with the entire business because, yeah, like he said, find a skill that's lucrative and high valued and then sell that skill, but then they're no longer actually performing that skill or creating content around that skill. Their content eventually becomes selling you a course about that skill that they say that they do, and that's how they built their wealth. But it's not how they built their wealth. How they built their wealth is by selling you a course that tells you about their skill. Does that make sense? I know it's confusing, but it's like this big full circle of not really being the most truthful. And sometimes it is. Sometimes the actual course literally tells you this is about how to grow your social media accounts, go viral, so that you yourself can either sell the same course that I have or make one about yourself, tailor it just a little bit, and then sell that course to other people. It's crazy. Do you not see what's forming? Every year, the name freaking changes. Drop shipping, Amazon FBA, high ticket sales, online coaching, brand scaling, social media growth, SEO. I'm sure I'm missing dozens more. But regardless, under the different labels, it's all the same structure. You're told to learn a valuable skill, and sometimes you actually do. It's actually genuine information and education. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most influencers don't make their money using that skill anymore. They make their money selling access to the idea of that skill. The course itself becomes the business, and the lifestyle you're being sold, that usually comes from the course sales, not the skill itself that's in the course that you're purchasing. That's why some of these prices are so high, because they can also get away with it. $3,000, $5,000, sometimes even more. And it's not illegal, but it's also not what most people think they're buying.
I am a 25-year-old millionaire, so buy my course to make you a millionaire. And in the course, I teach you how to sell a course, because I'm only a millionaire because you bought the course, and now I teach you how to sell course, and then you can make course about how to sell course and sell it to more people. Course inception, and now everyone is a millionaire because we just buy course, make course. Buy course, make course, millionaire. Secret to life.
Literally. That is very well said. Anywho, I wanted to read a couple of comments that you guys had left on my previous Influencer Insanity episode. Highly recommend you check that video out if you haven't already, because guys, this goes deep. And this so far is the deepest one that I have found, and it is taking over. It's going rampant in 2026. It was pretty bad in 2025, but I only think things are going to get worse. And it's been going on for a while, but it finally clicked, and I finally I'm seeing what's going on, and I just want to make you aware so that you're prepared and can see this from the outside as well and not fall victim to it. Anyways, if you guys want to get featured in the next video, definitely make sure to drop a comment down below. Actual rich people will never do this type of stuff. And I agree. They usually have a legitimate business selling a product or selling a service that actually works, and they don't need to flaunt their wealth and all this other stuff. And also, when you do build a certain amount of wealth, you start to realize that you don't need to show it off and flex it to show everybody that you have wealth, because those people usually don't have a lot, or like what I'm really talking about is true wealth. Maybe they're rich, maybe they have a couple thousand. When you actually have a lot of money, you really don't want other people to know about it. I would be embarrassed for anyone trying to flaunt a rich lifestyle. Most people who actually have wealth fly under the radar intentionally. Exactly. And I hope that many of you guys will eventually get to experience this, achieve financial freedom, and you'll realize, and some of you already have and don't need to accumulate a ton of wealth to realize that, you don't need the attention. You don't want the attention. You'd rather fly under the radar, because having that anonymity, you can't buy that. It's amazing to have wealth without the status, if that makes sense. But the reason these influencers do it is because their whole business revolves around the flex.
Miami influencer Brez Scales was arrested Sunday night after authorities pulled him over in his Lamborghini Aventador, following an ongoing investigation into alleged fraud. The defendant's only words were, "Sign up for the boot camp."
Bro, this guy Brez really fake being in jail just to sell you guys on his little freelance brand scaling info offer. I can't lie, great marketing, but the real question is, what the fuck are you actually buying into? This is Mr. Brez Scales right here, and if you don't know already, Mr. Brez Scales allegedly makes most of his money from courses. And throughout this video, you also notice that I won't make any sort of hard claims because I don't have the time to deal with a defamation letter. If you don't know me yet, I've debunked multiple different grifters because I'm tired of grifters plastering $3,000 courses on how to get rich quick all over the internet and completely fucking up some of your guys' financial situations. Because the truth is, there's no way to get rich quick. It's just straight bullshit. And I can say this because I've done ecom and I've hit 100K days, 1.5 mil months as well. And I can say for sure that for the 2 months of me starting doing ecom, I did not make a single dollar. So Brez does something called freelance brand scaling. And in essence, it's literally just repackaged SMMA bullshit that's been around since 2016 when literally Iman Gachi first introduced it. And if you don't know what SMMA is, it's literally just social media marketing for different businesses that don't have a social media presence yet. But the reality is that in 2026, the
irony is, years ago, prior to me even having a YouTube, I was going around with my friends trying to do this when, social media was really starting to take off, and not many businesses created like business profiles. It was really only just personal pages that was popular back then on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that.
businesses already know what social media is. And so if there's one business model that's a lot harder to get into now,
it's this.
It would be this one. Considering that I've done e-com and have spent over $1 million in Facebook ads in the past year, I can confidently say that this market is becoming a lot more saturated. And as time goes on, ads are becoming so much more expensive to run. So what makes you think that you jumping into this business model is it going to be as lucrative as it was a few years ago? Probably not. Do you really think that all these cars came from freelance brand scaling? Most definitely not. Otherwise, you'll see a lot more numbers and ads related to his business model instead of fucking jailbreaking, talking about Mr. Laptop Guy or how his grandpa owns Fiji. It's literally all just top of funnel marketing to get you interested on a course because you guys are uneducated and think that you will become as rich as him from doing SMMA. But the thing is, I'm not trying to shit on SMMA and say that you can't make money from it. Obviously, people have made money from it. But now jumping into this business model, it's a lot more money, a lot more time, and a lot more effort. And it's no longer just basic media buying bullshit. You actually have to understand marketing fundamentals, direct response marketing, and plus understanding how Facebook works requires a lot of money up front too. And on top of that, people have claimed that Brez has a lot of unauthentic Reddit comments on different posts that ask whether or not he's legit. And he's also been accused of allegedly owing 500K plus to different clippers, and you can see on this Twitter post right here, which I will link in the comments. And I think one of the worst parts about this is the Brez effect, which he's gone viral for flexing crash cars because it creates attention for his course and info offer. So before you jump into Mr. Brez's brand scaling bootcamp, just ask yourself these questions. Just pause it and ask yourself these questions because honestly, it's a pretty burnt business model that has a very high barrier to entry and requires a lot more money and time to jumpstart than you may think. And so if you want me to debunk more grifters, just follow along and comment the next person that you want me to debunk.
So like, long story short, you're going to buy his course for $3,000 thinking that if you follow his course that teaches you probably legitimate information about scaling brands, that you'll eventually achieve this lifestyle that he is flexing. But turns out he didn't get this lifestyle from brand scaling. Majority of his money, if not all of it at this point, is not coming from brand scaling. It's coming from you buying a course that teaches brand scaling. So that's where the dishonesty is that kind of floats on the ethical, unethical border, the immoral or moral border, that I am asking you guys what you think, because this is tough. There's nothing illegal about it as far as I understand. And it's not necessarily a scam, although lots of people will probably think that because they'll do it and they'll never achieve the wealth or the status or the lifestyle that the top influencers are promoting. But it really gets you to think that these influencers have to keep pushing the envelope further and further and further, even like he is saying. And it doesn't even matter. Like he's saying SMMA, social media scaling, marketing, advertising, is a saturated business. And it 100% is. But to the influencer, it doesn't matter. He can pick whatever fancy word of the day comes to mind for a new business model that sounds cool and niche and fit, hip for whatever year we're talking about. And it completely doesn't matter because that's not where they're making most of their money from. And then, as I've been constantly saying, as social media gets more and more popular and more saturated with all these influencers and wannabes and everybody trying to do this, they will do everything and anything to stay in the spotlight. I'm talking about buying fake accounts, buying bot accounts, buying fake comments, buying fake followers, doing more and more viral PR stunts, whether real or not, buying more and more fancy cars, fancy jewelry, fancy clothes, basically to cast the widest net possible to encompass as many people as they can. Because, most people are probably not interested in sourdough baking. There are some, but it's not a large net. But most people are interested in wealth and money and success and fame. Probably 9 times out of 10. That has a much larger audience that you can funnel uneducated people into that are truly risking a lot of money. $5,000 could really make or break somebody's finances here. That's an emergency fund. And they're just going to risk it all. And it's sad because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be successful in any of this stuff.
The guy says he makes $20 million a year from trading. But guess what? It's all a lie. This is
Probably doesn't
TJR,
trade
the
at all.
influencer guru who says he makes $2 million a month from day trading, or at least that's what he wants you to believe. After watching tons of his videos and diving deeper, it turns out just like everyone else, he has a course, a $5,000 course teaching you how to day trade. And he's not the only one. See, all these gurus teaching you dropshipping, trading, SMA, or whatever, they don't make most of their money from that business. They make it from selling you a course on that business model. Iman Gadzhi, he made 100 times more from his course than his agency. The Onaher brothers, 100 times more from their course than their actual store. You can't hate them because they figured it out. They know the real money is in education. And honestly, I just copied them using AI. All these online business models are dying, and the best way to make money in 2025 is by just doing what these gurus are actually doing themselves. It's by building a digital asset using AI so you can monetize a skill that you already have. I'm 20 years old and I make $40,000 a month using my digital asset, and I just made a completely free guide showing you how to do it too for completely free. If you want it, just comment the word asset and check out my bio.
This is like clout hopping on those successful influencers. He then plugs his own business in. Look, I did it too, just like this guy did. And I'm giving it away for free, unlike him for $5,000. Come sign up and check what I have out. So it never ends. But I like what he said. Like, it is education. And that's the craziest part about this whole thing. Like, we've talked many times in the channel. Maybe some of you know Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey sells a book. It's a physical product. It's $10. It's $15. It's not a $5,000 course. But again, it goes back to the theory, like the ethical and unethical part. Is it really that bad? I mean, it seems bad because they're pushing a lifestyle. That's the unethical part here. But if they're selling you a course that actually has real education in it, that's where things start to become gray.
You guys are wondering how TJR really got the Koenigsegg. Very simple. He did not do it through trading. He's a course seller. Him, Brez, all of them do the same exact thing, guys. They sell courses at a high ticket offer. And that's where most of their income comes from. Now, all these guys have sales teams, right? They have setters who are answering their DMs, booking them into the calendar, and then they have the closers who are closing their course deals. The reason they have sales teams is because they obviously can't manage everything. They're not hopping on calls with people and selling courses to them. They have people that are doing that work for them. Now, the opportunity for you to make money and potentially get a car like this someday in the future is by getting into high ticket sales. This is where you're either a closer or a setter for a guy like TJR or any other influencer. I'm in high ticket sales, and this is a gold mine opportunity. There's so much money in this. If you guys want me to put you on and you're interested in high ticket sales, DM me. Yo, these guys make $1 million per month each. That is insane. And I'm sure they're making all their money from trading and scaling brands, right? Newsflash, they're not. 80-90% of their money comes from courses. They run paid ads on Meta. You'll see their sponsored posts. You click on that Learn More button. This is the page it brings you to. You fill out your application, you hop on a Zoom call with somebody, and you get charged thousands of dollars for their course. This is the most profitable business in 2025. The big question is, how can you make money off this? So like I said, after this page, you'll be prompted to book a calendar time with somebody that we call a closer. The closer is the one who closes deals for TJR's course. And there's thousands of offers like TJR's. So rather than complaining about course sellers, what I do is I teach you how to become a closer for one of these high ticket sales offers. That way you're making money. All you're doing is hopping on Zoom calls with people and closing the deal. If you're interested, DM me.
The irony in this whole thing is absolutely hysterical. So let me get this straight. We have the top alpha influencer at the top, right, of the conveniently designed pyramid that sells a course that they then have tons of setters that book the Zoom call that then have tons of closers that close the Zoom call, like that sell you and on the product for $5,000. They get a commission that goes up to the setter, that goes up to the influencer, and they keep all getting pieces. Then we go even further, and the setters and the closers are now recruiting other setters and other closers, and I'm sure for every closer they recruit that lands a deal, they'll get a commission. That the setter will get a commission, that the influencer will get a commission on. The one massive MLM pyramid. This is insane how big this is getting here. When you have closers trying to become influencers to hire other closers, to recruit other closers, and to recruit other setters that are going to do the same thing, And usually what these closers do is they pitch something like, this is an investment in yourself, or what's $5,000 if it changes your life, or you'll make your money back easily, basically telling you what you want to hear. Everyone is getting a slice of someone else's commission, and that's when this pyramid scheme really takes shape. The host websites love it and push you to share your own affiliate link because remember, those host websites don't care if you make money or not. They get a piece of everything that happens on their platform. Now, could some people actually succeed? Yes, of course. Is it easy? Absolutely not. You need a following, consistency, time, marketing skills, sales skills, and luck. And most people don't have all that. So what actually happens? A few winners are at the top. Those are who you are seeing with the massive followings and the huge audiences. But a lot of people are stuck at the bottom, and many are quietly blaming themselves instead of the actual system and game that they're playing, because it's not designed essentially to be fair. It's designed to kind of scale you on belief, not actually scale you on results.
You have to be a complete dumbass to believe that these guys right here making millions of dollars in the fitness industry are doing that just because they have incredible physiques. Like this girl right here, Shelby Saps, makes millions of dollars a month, while Alex makes maybe a quarter or $500,000 a month. Even though he has more followers, more views, and more likes. The truth is, if you're anything like me, you love bodybuilding, you love fitness, you love self-improvement, and all you want to do is make a career here, make a good amount of money inside of this industry and not have to work a regular job your entire life. Don't make the mistake I did, which was chasing a whole bunch of followers and a whole bunch of views, hoping that it was gonna make you some money. I mean, I had this amount of followers a year and a half ago, and guess what? I was still working at Sunglass Hut for $15 an hour. But now today I live in a $10,000 a month penthouse in Miami, and I drive my literal dream car. And it was all because I learned this right here, which is how to run a content funnel and how to run a successful online coaching business. And learning these industry secrets that all of the guys online making a lot of money know has made me over $500,000, has made Ari with 10,000 followers over $100,000 in 6 months, made Andrew with 10,000 followers 60,000.
So he's also flexing
lifestyle. Joshua with 5,000 followers 20,000, and George with 6,000 followers 20,000. And that's all between 3 and 6 months.
And the money.
Now, instead of gatekeeping this information like most people do that changed my life and has changed many people's lives, I just want to give it to you for free. So I put together a 9-hour free course. I typically charge people thousands of dollars for this, but I'm going to give it to you for free. Just comment the word 9 hours, 9HRS, and I'll shoot it over to your DMs.
Now, here's something you guys have to be careful about. This isn't limited to just business influencers. I have seen this in the fitness community, the modeling community, the lifestyle community, the sales community, the marketing community. I've even seen it in the sourdough baking community. Seriously. They don't deserve this. Every niche eventually gets some sort of flexer, some sort of mentor, and some sort of sales funnel. Look at my life. You could have this too. I'll show you how to sell all the sourdough bread and drive my Lamborghini. Essentially, it's different niches with the same exact playbook. And remember, as these markets get more and more saturated, people are trying it in other niches. The only difference and the trade-off is they are smaller. Hence why most people try to push this on a large scale, cast a wide net, and try to promote this just to the general public. Because most people want wealth and money and fancy cars and niches. Not many people, or not at the same scale, want to open a sourdough business, but you can kind of get my point.
AGR made his money from trading, Shelby Sapp from remote sales, Brez from freelance brand scaling, but they also all make millions of dollars a month teaching people the skill they're good at, and they do this with a platform called WOP. Anyone can copy them. All you need is a high value skill, a way of generating traffic, and a way of converting that traffic into buyers. Now, it might seem really complicated, but I actually break down how you can do it as a creator in a very simple 5-step process. Number 1, you need to do market research. You need to understand your ICP, your ideal customer profile, and you do this by asking questions to your audience or to existing students, and you can even use AI to make this easier. The questions like this, like what their goals are, what their dreams are, where they currently are at, what's stopping them from getting to those dream goals. And once you gather that information, you then want to craft an offer specifically tailored to where they want to get to. And you need to make it super quick to achieve, very easy to do, and the chances that they'll actually achieve it super high, and the outcome to be massive, and that will make your offer irresistible. And that's exactly what we want for people to buy from us.
So basically, feed you the words that you want to hear, sell you the lifestyle that you want. That's all it is. Whether it comes true or not is not my problem.
by adding one-on-one coaching, group coaching, private communities, video modules, all of which you can host on WOP. You can host communities on here, which makes it super seamless to run. But now that you have this offer, you need traffic. You need people to actually know that you have an offer you're trying to sell to them. And the best way to do this is with content, specifically starting off with short form content, because you need to get your name up there, and using short form content is the easiest way to go viral. But people won't buy from you just with a couple viral videos here and there. You actually need people to trust you. And the way that you do this is with YouTube. And it has the highest quality of traffic because the videos that you post on there will be much longer, which means people are consuming more of you and will get nurtured from you and therefore trust you more. So now that we have this traffic that's warm and knows us, we now need a conversion mechanism that will let them buy from us. So we use this with funnels, webinars, VSL opt-ins, that kind of thing. And then once we've done this, we then need a sales process to then close these deals. We have appointment setters that book calls, we then have closers that take the deals, and then we use payment processors like WOP to actually collect the payments. You can do that with crypto, split it, and even collect money from people that don't have as much money up front. So that's pretty much the entire process that you will need. And if you're a creator and you want to learn more how to do this, just comment the word WOP and I'll send you more details.
The craziest thing is that is like exactly how you would do it. Like that is pretty much the algorithm mapped out perfectly. I'm not going to hate. I'll give it to him. It's very well crafted. So watch that back if you're trying to grow a following on social media. Now you can cut out the part of pushing a course and selling a course to people, but for the most part, that is essentially how you would even grow an audience to begin with. And there's also a little bit of luck involved in that too. But if you don't follow that, your chances of success, like on social media, disappear like completely. Now, what's interesting is he mentioned WOP. This is the platform that is hosting all of these influencers to use to then funnel out, go out like the hive mind in Vecna and Stranger Things to go attack all the stuff that Vecna is sending them after. And then funny enough, I looked up who the owner of WOP was because I was going to see if these other, gurus, finance gurus, Iman Godsi, are promoting their course too. And then look at his bio, co-owner of WOP. I have to give it to him. He went from selling a course himself to then owning a platform that gets other influencers to sell a course. It is brilliant. It is beyond genius. So here's where I genuinely struggle with this because it's not black and white. Some of these influencers absolutely believe in what they're selling. Some of them are clearly faking it until they make it, and some are just riding a wave they didn't fully understand when they jumped on it too. But regardless of the intent, the pressure is the same for all of them because the second they stop posting their lifestyle, the second the cars disappear, and the second the flexing slows down, their money funnel will dry up. And that's the part that feels kind of uncomfortable or maybe even unethical. At some point, you're no longer creating content because you enjoy it, like I like to do, or because it actually helps people or solves a problem. You're just creating content because you have to keep selling this dream in order to keep making money. It's kind of this never-ending cycle. And I'll be honest, this hits close to home. I could very easily make a course right now. I mean, I've grown this YouTube channel to almost 100,000 subscribers in under a year, and hopefully in less than a year and a half, we'll have reached that goal. But there is a real algorithm to it. There are legitimate, repeatable patterns to get this to work. There are things that dramatically increase your chances of going viral. And I could package this all up, price it at a few $1,000s, and sell the idea of YouTube and social media success. But then what? Eventually, my content wouldn't really be making good videos anymore like I try to do, helping people achieve financial success through legitimate ways. It would really just turn into this regurgitated, look at me, look at my lifestyle, and look at the wealth I've made, all in the form of a video of me selling you a course about making content to sell a course to get more people to sign up to buy the course to sell the course. And I could go on and on and on. Is this a scam? Is this ethical? Or is this just the inevitable evolution of the influencer economy? Because the line between education and exploitation is getting thinner and thinner and thinner every year.
Alex doesn't trade real money. Ask yourself this question, right? Do you think that I have at least $200,000 to $300,000 to risk on a trade? Yes or no? Probably, right? Like, at least I have that type of money, because even to fake the lifestyle, right? Fake a hypercar, fake Bugattis and all this, you need to have at least a couple $100,000. So give me that at least, right? Okay, cool. Now, do I at least predict 2 markets every single week that give me a 1 to 3, 1 to 4 risk reward? What do you think? Yes or no? Well, yeah, you know, he does predict S&P 500 sells, GPP CAD sells, NDD USD sells. I mean, yes, I guess he does. So, do you think that I would not be risking money behind these positions? Do you genuinely think I'm just going to be sharing all of these trades, thousands of people catching them, and then I don't? That would be fucking stupid. So, to all the people out there that think that I don't trade real funds, yes, I am a demo trader. You count me.
All right, welcome to episode 5 of Traders Selling Their Ass. Now, I hope you guys have been enjoying this show, because it's only gonna get a lot better. Today, we're featuring FX Alex G. Now, this is a person who I've been around and enjoyed being around, but let's talk about how Alex actually makes money. There are a couple different ways. Now, does he trade? Absolutely not. But how does he do it?
A direct contradiction to what he just said 30 seconds ago when I played his clip.
He have enough money to do the things he does in life? Well, for one, he owns a broker. And you have to remember, with Forex, it's not centralized like the stock market, where on one platform, it'll be the same price as the other. You can actually have different prices for the same symbol on different platforms. Now, how does Alex actually make money if he owns a broker? Well, think about it. If you're the broker or if you're the house, when you lose, Alex is the one collecting that. Now, the second way
that's crazy
he makes money with his broker is he can wick you out, because it's not centralized. You have to remember that. So the price on one platform can be different from the other. So a lot of people have been complaining about that. And honestly, if you go in the comments, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, how does Alex also make money? Well, the second main income stream is a funded account broker that he owns. Now, how do you make money from that as well? Well, if people are buying accounts and failing, Alex continues to make money, because every time they fail, they have to buy more accounts. Now, has Alex ever placed a trade in real life on a real account? Maybe 6 years ago. But Alex absolutely does not trade, and those are the ways he makes money. Now, the first way is fraud. The second way is just the way of business, because you know what you signed up for. You know you're buying a funded account. You know if you lose the account or fail the funded account, you have to buy it again. So you know what you signed up for, but the first way is absolutely fraud.
The crazy part is, like, why would you even trade to begin with? Like, if you're making millions of dollars from not trading, why would you trade with a risk of, let's say, 30%, even though it's much higher odds than that? If I have a 100% guaranteed way of making money, which is allowing other people to take the risk for me, there is zero reason why I would ever need to trade. Could I? Sure. Of course we could. I don't need to, though. Maybe I do one here and there just to keep the hype and show people, to keep them, you know, still on the hook, that I'm actually doing what I'm saying I'm doing, even though most of my money is not coming from trading anymore or ever. And then also, you got to factor in the fact that if you own the exchange, I mean, it could be a demo account, it could be a bot account. It doesn't even have to be that. It could legitimately be real funds in the form of bonus money deposited onto his exchange in his account that he shows. You would never be able to tell the difference. Whether he wins it or loses it, it doesn't matter. It's the exchange's money, or it's completely demoed. Like, it doesn't matter. So here's the final twist that almost nobody talks about. So who is the biggest winner in all of this influencer craze and course selling? Well, it's not the people on the camera. It's not the influencers themselves. It's actually the platforms behind the scenes, the course hosting websites, the marketplaces, the payment processors, the affiliate platforms, the tools every influencer is told to promote. They get paid whether you succeed or fail. No refunds to worry about, no drama, no constant reselling. There's no emotional attachment, no reputation risk. It's just pure volume, pure scale, and pure upside potential. They literally get to sit back and watch the money roll in. And that's why pushing platforms is so powerful, or creating that. It's why it's actually one of the smartest business moves in the entire ecosystem, and why that creator we talked about before is pretty genius for owning or co-founding or just having a stake in one of those platforms, or two of the influencers we spoke about actually. Now, I do have a perfect I guess, legitimate example of this, which is Doug DeMoro. And he's just the first person that comes to mind because I like cars. Instead of selling you a dream to create a YouTube channel and be successful and how to get this lavish lifestyle, he built Cars and Bids, an auction website. So essentially, whether you sell your car for a profit or take a loss on it, whether you win or lose, he still makes a commission on every single sale. That's not selling hope, that's selling infrastructure. And I think there's a huge difference. That's why some people can do this ethically. I mean, it's a very good business model that lots of legitimate companies do. When you build tools, or people build tools and they build marketplaces and they build systems, then it's legit. It's not selling a lifestyle that needs constant maintenance to stay believable.
I do it for free, my man. Why not tell kids go on ChatGPT and figure it out? Like, I just don't get it, because I know a lot of wealthy friends and they make a ton of money in real estate. They make the money. And even me, when I grew my company, Edible Arrangements, not one time did I ever sit back and say, hey, let me do a course on how to sell fruit and how to sell edible arrangements. We were so focused on making so much money on that avenue, it was the last thing I would ever do. That's why it really has a scamster appeal to it.
I mean, that's a great question. If I was doing so successful in my fruit selling business, why would I need to make a course on it? You wouldn't, right? So unless it's drying up, would you then pivot to something like that? If your Amazon FBA that you're selling is starting to dry up, why would you then go out and make a course on it? And to tell people how to do what you're doing to essentially saturate your own business and create competitors in your own business. It makes no sense. So the only main logical answer for why you would do it is to make more money, because what you're currently doing is dying out, or it's not working, or it's totally saturated. But it doesn't matter if it's saturated or not if that's not where you're making your money from. If it's coming from a course teaching you about a saturated business and selling that. So here is my advice, because I've been thinking about this for a long time. Zoom out, follow the incentives, and be very careful with who you're taking financial advice from, especially when their income solely depends on keeping you sold on a dream. Don't confuse someone else's highlight reel with a guaranteed path forward. Now, I really want to hear from you guys. Do you think this is a scam? Do you think this is morally right? Is it ethical? Or is this just the new reality of online business and influencer culture? Let me hear from you. Drop a comment down below. I'll be reading them, and some of them will be in my next video. And also, if you haven't already, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a thumbs up. And if you haven't seen my previous video on exposing influencers, then definitely make sure to check it out right after this. Peace.